Hello, my name is Wei Xiang and I'm going to briefly present my report for ISSE. So for the Computer Misuse and Cybersecurity and Data Protection Act, I've identified 5 that I felt was the most relevant. So for the Computer Misuse Act, Section 3, Unauthorized Access to Computer Material. Section 4, Access with Intent to Commit or Facilitate Commission of Offence. Section 6, Unauthorized Use or Interception of Computer Service. And Section 8.1, Supplying, etc., personal information in contravention of certain provisions. The fifth one would be the Personal Data and Protection Act, Section 24, Protection of Personal Data. For the physical access, as you can see, the workplace will be equipped with security cameras for the security staff to monitor in case of any suspicious acts from the other staff. The rooms that are colored blue can only be accessed by certain staff members. Example would be the data center, which can only be accessed by the IT and admin staff, and the security room, which can only be accessed by the security staff. For the logical access, every employee are given an ID card. These ID cards are used to access the workplace and certain rooms. So example, the ID cards given to the IT staff can access the data center but not the security room. The employees are also given a token because the workplace accounts are locked by an OTP, which are solely given by these tokens. Every account also has different levels of permission. So an account with a high level permission, it can access more important information like the client's personal data. So for the endpoint security, we're going to fix some weaknesses. So first we'll run the CIS and give it time to just boot up. Okay, so for the benchmark, we'll set it to Microsoft Windows 10 Enterprise Release and profiles level 1. So we just let this run for a bit, and so we are going to change some settings in the group policy. So just search for edit group policy or just GP edit. So here, so where we'll be changing the settings will be computer config, administrative templates, and then systems. So before I go any further, we just let this run finish first. So just give it time because this will generally take about a bit over a minute, and at the end of it, it will need time to also generate the report, which will take about another half minute or so. So just give it time. Yep, so now it's generating the report. Okay, it's done. So now a few reports. Okay, so we'll be fixing the logon and mitigation options. So here we'll be fixing from 18.8.25.3 to 18.8.26.1. Okay, so not enumerating the connected users on domain joined computers. This is to ensure that should there be a malicious user trying to get access to the account, they are not able to, because if you do enumerate, what will happen is that if they type in a incorrect username and password, example would be an output they will get would be invalid username and password. But if they get the correct username but not the password, they will get invalid or incorrect password. So this gives them information that the username does exist in the system. So from here they can just brute force test passwords to the point, to gain access to the account. So this is the same reason for not enumerating local users on domain joined computers. Turning off the app notification lock screen is so that should you get an important message whilst you're away, people walking by will not be able to see that message. So another way to combat this was putting a privacy filter so that people walking by also has a harder time seeing the screen in the first place. So turning off convenience pin sign in is to ensure that the password will be in characters, which is generally harder to crack. And also you can set requirements such as the password requires a special character, capital letter, and a number. So the ensure untrusted font blocking is set to enable block untrusted fonts and lock events. Now this is to prevent remote and local EOP attacks. And what EOP attacks are, it is a elevation of privilege. So basically it's an account who has the permission to example the file. They actually only have the permission to read it, but should they conduct a EOP attack, now they will have the admin rights to it, so they can read and write the data. So they can edit the data, they can just copy the data, or they could just wipe it out entirely, which could cause some problems. So here to change the settings, search for logon first, okay, and then do not enumerate. Hold on, it's lagging a bit. Okay, so do not enumerate connected user domain. So we just enable that setting. Then after that it was enumerate local here, so we disable this. Then it was turn off notifications there. So yes, we enable this, and now we turn convenience. So yeah, we disable that. Right, so you can just double check with this. So yeah, and then now we'll go to mitigation options. So just go back to system, process mitigation options, and untrusted font blocking. And now we just enable this and make sure it is block untrusted fonts and lock events. Okay, so now we'll just rerun the assessment. So just use the same settings. So after changing those settings, you should see that the 5 fails here, should have turned to a pass. And actually, just to again, to change these settings, you open the GP edit. So go to computer config, administrative templates, system, and then it was logon and mitigation options. So yeah, now we just wait for this to finish running and we can check. Okay, just let it generate the report. Okay, view reports, and now we go back to logon and mitigation options here. As you see, the 5 fails has turned to a pass, so it's working. To conclude, after applying these measures, it will be less likely for there to be a security breach, which would ensure the protection of our clients' personal information.